Corinne, it's so nice
Hi.
to talk with you. Thank you
Of
for
course.
being able to share what your experience was with ArcVida. So
Mhm.
tell us about how you were feeling when you first found ArcVida.
Sure. So I was between jobs, working at a restaurant, in the job search, and I realized like I was getting some interviews. I had a few offers that I realized were not the right fit, and then I kind of thought, okay, I actually have no idea what I want. Um, I feel like I have lots of personal values that I haven't really dug deep into, and I want to make sure that my career path is aligned with that, and I want to be more strategic about my job search. So I did consultations with a few different career coaches, including you. And out of everyone I talked to, your program just seemed like the best fit for me. Some of them were a little too like nebulous, without enough structure. And then one person I talked to, it was so structured to the point where it's like, you must do this, this, and this is the outcome you will get, when there was no room for me to do any exploration to my own values and career. And then ArcVida was just the perfect balance for me of having like structured, modules as well as other forms of support. And also
Great.
talking to you was great. I felt like, I don't know, in the other conversations, it felt very much like a sales pitch, and you were like the first person who talked to me like a person, which I felt like.
Gosh, this world we live in. So as you were going through this program, we're recording here. So tell us about how you experienced the support, both the cohort leader and your group and working in the application. Like, what was that like for you?
Yeah, of course. I really love the multifaceted process of working with ArcVida. So we had like the modules, which for me really helped guide me in doing the deep personal work. So, gain clarity into like values or personal experience, which someone can coach you as every single day, but only you have certain answers. So that's what the modules really helped me with. So like working on that deep work. And then my cohort leader, Anna, was great. And then what I loved about the cohort was that it was kind of like an accountability group. So we had like a quick update every Friday. We had my cohort met Saturdays, so they helped keep me accountable to make sure, okay, what did I actually do this week? How did I progress? Who did I talk to? What did I learn? What are my questions? And then in the group, like everyone helped motivate each other. And then I think it was so much better than working one-on-one with a career coach, because you get all these different perspectives and insight and people to bounce ideas off of. And then one thing I didn't expect at all was how gracious the cohort leaders were with kind of like expending their own personal capital. So when I had more clarity on where I wanted to go with my career path, several of the coaches like volunteered to make introductions for me to people they knew. And then like I remember going through LinkedIn and just reaching out to one of the coaches. I'm like, hey, like I would love to talk to like, these three people. Like, do you know them? And he was like, yeah, I know two of them. I'll introduce you. And then I talked to those people and they're like, oh, this is a great conversation. You should talk to this person. And so there was like, I didn't expect that at all, to have them be so gracious about sharing their own connections and then those connections making other connections for me. Um, and then there was a platform too where you can like meet other people in ArcVida or like ask questions. So I just like that there was like so many different things. You have like the guided modules for the deep work that you were doing. There was the accountability of the cohort and like that feeling of like motivation and support. There was the knowledge and of like the different coaches. Oh yeah, because you have the one-on-one coaching sessions too. So you have the coaches and then like the networking as well. So I just thought it just kind of hit on, everything.
Yeah, totally. How much time did this take you on a weekly basis?
Okay, so because of COVID, my restaurant was closed, so I was not working, so I had lots of free time. So some weeks, maybe I didn't do as much work, so maybe 2 hours, but there were some weeks where I did like over 10 informationals with people and did module work too. So there's some weeks where I was maybe like 5, 6 hours. Um, it varies. I spent a lot of time doing informationals with people to be like extra, extra sure that it was the career path I wanted. A lot of people move faster through it. So I think there are people who do like a couple hours a week, and that's fine. There are people who commit more time. So it depends on how much you're willing to put in.
And then what happened? What was your outcome?
Uh, well, like a couple things. One, I realized what I want to do with my career path, and that I would have to go back to school, which I've kind of wanted to go back to school for a while. So I'm like, great, I got to go to grad school finally. And then I also found a job, and I landed a job that was first like it's a startup. It was aligned with my personal values. Is above my compensation requirements, had health insurance, and like a small and great team. And also, I'm like a non-tech person, so like getting like a good paying job at a startup, especially with COVID, I felt like pretty grateful for that. And what helped me, I think, more than anything was the process in ArcVida of like all the informationals and networking you do. I really just got so comfortable turning interviews, just from doing informationals, turning interviews into conversations. Um, and that's like a really important thing that I think a lot of people searching for jobs don't do, because oftentimes, it's right now it's a tough market, especially, and you want the job so badly. And sometimes you're afraid to rock the boat or like ask, a question you think might be perceived negatively. But an interview is a two-way street, and you're trying to make sure that that company is the right fit for you too. And doing so many informationals gave me a lot of confidence, just talking with people, especially over Zoom, asking questions, noting which questions made people go, oh, wow, that's a great question. And if that happened multiple times with one question, I would just like highlight it and like put it in my list of like interview questions to ask. Yeah, so it just helped me turn interviews into conversations and feel more confident doing the interviews, which is something I didn't really think about too much. But then that was one of the benefits of ArcVida as well.
Nice. So you had really good outcomes. You figured out that you were going to go to graduate school for what you want to do in the
Yeah,
future. Are you
something in the future. Got to
is it
nail
for a
that date down still,
PhD
but
or
it's
master?
on the list.
Okay. And then in the interim, you networked in, or you found this job that you're so excited about.
Yeah.
So in terms of value, what do you think the value was for you?
For me, when I started, I had like no idea what I wanted to do, and I felt kind of like directionless in terms of my career. Like I was looking, I've worked in different industries, and I realized that the way I was applying for jobs was like, oh, this sounds cool, or like waiting for an aha moment to strike, which I learned is a very inefficient way to look for a job, because then you're just looking through like endless job postings. So ArcVida helped give me a sense of direction and clarity and confidence in my career, that I think if I hadn't invested the money and the time and the effort now, I feel like I would still be trying to figure this out like 5, 10 years down the line. Like, who am I? What do I want to do? What is the value I want to add to the world? What do I want to do with my career? I think I would still be lost and not knowing what that was if I hadn't invested the time now. So I kind of feel like I'm on the right track.
Awesome. And then what about in terms of when you think about who would benefit, what kind of person would benefit from this kind of program? What would you say?
Definitely. So I think this program is definitely for anybody who is like pivoting in their career, looking to be more strategic in their job search, feeling stagnant. Um, and then more than anything, I think it's for this program is for people looking for more clarity and wanting to do work that is driven by like who they are as a person. So having that clarity, because like, you spend think of how much of our lives we spend at work, you know? Like, do you feel drained by your work? Do you feel energized? Like, do you feel like, you go to work and like, this is the right thing for me to be doing? I think that's so important because like we only live once. So we all have to work. So making sure your work is aligned with your values and who you are and your strengths, I think is incredibly important. So if that's what you're looking for, I think ArcVida is perfect. If you just want like someone to look at your resume and give you some tips on LinkedIn and like interviewing, maybe not. But if you're looking for something deeper and like more and like longer lasting, I think ArcVida is a great fit. Like I even suggested it to my sister. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your generosity and sharing your
Yeah, of
story.
course.
I
I mean,
really appreciate
I
it.
was in this, the position I was in like 4 months ago, and now I feel like it's changed so much. So thank you.
And we love it. We always say a great job changes your whole life. That's awesome.